Did you know Spotify has audiobooks now? Should you, as an indie author, use Spotify for your audiobooks? In today's video, we're going to look into everything you need to know about Spotify audiobooks as an indie author. If you don't know who I am, my name's Andrea, the word engineer, a former engineer turned freelance book editor living in Mexico. I help aspiring authors and solopreneurs write, edit, and market their books to build their personal brand. So I'm going to share my screen now and we're going to get right into it. Powered by its acquisition of the digital audiobook distributor Findaway, Spotify launched audiobooks in the US in September 2022, with a catalog of over 300 titles to start before expanding to other English-speaking markets later in the year and Canada in early 2023. Spotify's US subscribers can now stream audiobooks for free. Yes, even Britney's memoir. Premium subscribers can stream 15 hours per month from a catalog of over 200,000 titles. So if you're unfamiliar with Spotify, which I'm sure the majority of you pretty much know what Spotify is, but if you don't, Spotify is a leading audio streaming service providing users with access to a huge selection of music and podcasts and now audiobooks. This forward-thinking platform, recognized by its distinct green Spotify logo, lets music fans play their preferred songs and podcasts on laptops, smartphones, and other gadgets. The Spotify Premium Audiobook catalog includes more than 200,000 titles, over 70% of them best-selling titles from all 5 major book publishers, as well as independent publishers such as Bolinda, Dreamscape, and Pushkin. Although Spotify has offered audiobooks since September 2022, the user experience has been less than optimal. Users could listen to audiobooks in the Spotify app, but because Spotify wants to avoid costly in-app fees, users must purchase titles at its website. So here we have Spotify's website for audiobooks, as we mentioned earlier. If you do have a Spotify subscription, you would have to be a premium user to access the 15 hours of the free listening time, which reimburses every month. So Spotify Audiobooks offers a unique opportunity for indie authors to reach a broader audience with millions of active users on Spotify. Your audiobook could be discovered by people who might not have found it otherwise. So you may be wondering, as an indie author, if you're able to get your audiobooks on Spotify. So the answer would be yes. If your audiobook rights belong to a publisher, ask them if they're distributing on Spotify. And if you're independent or a self-published author, the easiest way to make your audiobook available on Spotify is through Findaway Voices. So let's check out a bit more about what Findaway Voices has to say. So here I have a screenshot of Findaway Voices. Millions of new fans for your audiobooks on Spotify. With over 500 million users across the world, Spotify includes audiobooks to millions of premium subscribers who are ready to immerse in your story. And with the potential for millions of new listeners, there are more ways to get paid, so they claim. Spotify will also offer your book for retail sale, allowing users around the world to buy your book without counting towards their 15 hours consumption limit, which they only get once a month if they are a premium subscriber, remember. And when people buy from Spotify, you keep all of the royalties. As well as keeping all your royalties, you also get insights from your audiobook, such as demographic information, as well as what country readers are listening to your audiobook. And it also includes a rating system that's directly integrated into your dashboard to know how your content is resonating with your readers. You can also submit an audiobook even if you don't have the print or ebook edition already. So unlike Audible, they require you to have your ebook and print copy listed on Amazon in order to distribute to Audible. If you do not have the print ebook on Amazon, then you wouldn't be able to distribute to Audible and would have to leave them unselected from distribution. So I'd recommend, if you are interested in potentially having your books on Spotify, definitely check out the Spotify and Findaway Voices website. And you can also get more information on what type of BISEC code you can use. So your BISEC code is your books category or subgenre and has a large impact on how your audiobooks are displayed across most audiobook sellers. Um, in the FAQ that they have for this section, they give you a breakdown of what type of bisect you should choose for your specific book, as well as in this link below. You can click here, and that will give you more information if you're unsure on what your bisect code is. But before you get too excited about potentially having your audiobooks on Spotify, I do want to go over some things that some writers and people in the industry are concerned about. So we mentioned some of the pros, which is that Spotify has a large user base. You can track specific insights about your book. Readers who already have a Spotify subscription can easily add your book to their playlists, assuming they have a premium subscription. And if you're already a podcaster, then it's just an easier way for your followers and the people that enjoy your content to easily access your audiobook as well. I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to look into some of the concerns that people are having with Spotify audiobooks. In an article on TechCrunch.com by Sarah Perez, she writes, investors had a lot of questions for Spotify about the new audiobook offering, leading Spotify to share its overall impressions of how both consumers and publishers were adapting to the new format. On the latter, Spotify said that publishers and authors were excited about the innovation offered by its subscription and have been very open-minded in terms of trying new things. However, some authors and agents are pushing back against Spotify's entry into this market, saying the company isn't being transparent about author compensation. So we're going to look into this company that is giving some of this pushback. So here we have the organization called Coalition of Concerned Creators, and they state, Spotify, we demand transparency for audiobook creators. We are writers, musicians, literary agents, and other creators demanding transparency from Spotify. Specifically, we are concerned by the streaming giant's new audiobook streaming offering and the impact it will have on author compensation, the value of books, and the literary industry more broadly. So if you scroll down, you have the option to join their movement. If this is something you're interested in, I would definitely recommend that you take part in the movement. They also list various concerns. As authors and supporters of the literary community, we are deeply concerned about Spotify's free bundling of audiobooks in the UK, Australia, and the US. While we recognize the accessibility and the convenience it provides for listeners, we are concerned that this product may devalue the art form and harm the livelihoods of countless authors who rely on book sales and audiobook royalties to sustain their creative careers. So they give a bit more detail on some of their concerns, and they also list their demands. We demand that Spotify suspend the product and engage in meaningful conversation with authors and their representatives to address our concerns, gather feedback, and collaboratively find solutions. So once again, if this is something you're interested in signing up for or being a part of, you have the option to sign up. I also wanted to share that they do have some of the myths that Spotify has been saying that they are debunking. So we'll just take a quick look at the first one. Spotify is well positioned to grow the digital audiobook market and expand its reach to new listeners and audiences. While in reality, the majority of Spotify's existing users are in the range of 18 to 34. This is the same as those who already buy audiobooks. So they list other myths as well. So let's go over another one. Spotify is a trusted and excellent partner to work with. In reality, while launching this new offering, Spotify kept publishers under strict NDAs around deal terms, leaving agents and authors, the ones who will actually be affected, completely in the dark. This lack of transparency is unacceptable when creators' livelihoods are in question. That's a good point. So now we're going to check out a couple of the people involved in the movement who share their testimonials. So here we have Corbin Addison, author of Wastelands. Without writers, our world would be vastly impoverished. Yet the current corporate-centric business model doesn't pay most authors, even those who have hit bestsellers lists, won awards, and received critical acclaim, anything like a living wage. I'm concerned that yet another supplemental income stream, audiobooks, will be watered down by Spotify's incessant quest for growth at the expense of creators. If someone listens to a book of mine, I should receive fair compensation. It's a simple exchange and crucial for the future of books. Next, we have RJ Blaine, author of Playing with Fire. I terminated my contract with Findaway Voices. I was in their Voices Share program. I informed them that I was not accepting their terms of use promptly after they announced the changes. They are attempting to force me into paying their cancellation fee for refusing to accept their terms of use. So, while it seems like Spotify audiobooks might be a good way for indie authors and self-published authors to find another stream of income with selling their audiobooks on Spotify, there are some concerns and some transparency issues that sounds like needs to be addressed. Feel free to drop it down in the comments and let me know your thoughts. I'm curious as this is kind of a new thing that's emerging on the market. If you found this video insightful or helpful in any way as an indie author, make sure you hit that like button and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. And if you have some time, make sure you check out my last video. I'll leave it on the screen somewhere where I talk about how you can get a free Amazon editorial review for your book.